So, Kaori, what do we got in the chat board?
Okay, Jack Gavin asked question, would you guys be excited to see a Sherlock Holmes back on the big screen with RDJ?
I am, and I think there are plans for them to do it. I think they're just waiting for really not so much Robert Downey Jr.'s schedule, but director
Guy Ritchie,
who is doing Man from U.N.C.L.E. right now, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they have plans to do that. Jude Law says, yeah, they just don't know when they're doing it right now, but they're going to do it. And you know, I like the Sherlock Holmes movies. I think they're pretty good. Either of you guys?
I like the first one. I didn't see the second one. I wouldn't mind seeing the third one, but I think the BBC's Sherlock TV show with Benedict Cumberbatch has kind of ruined me for other Sherlock stuff.
They're two very different Sherlock Holmes.
They are.
I'm not really excited for this because this week I am a fan of Christian Bale. And if you guys haven't voted for AMC versus yet, do it because tomorrow you'll find out who won RDJ versus Christian Bale.
No bias there. All right, what else? What else we got?
Okay, Big Rich question. What is the best book you read and would like to see as a movie?
There was a mini-series of it done, I think, in the 80s, but Shogun. James Clavell's Shogun is one of the most incredible novels. I totally love it. It's very cinematic in scope. Like I said, they did do a mini-series of it back in the 80s, but I think it would make a great 2.5-hour movie. What about you guys?
Mine is Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle, and I don't know if they did do a movie or not about it before, but it's a book and story that's kind of all over the place, and I don't know if it translates well to a movie.
Aaron?
I'm not sure. I'm going to have to think about that for a little bit more.
It's a very broad question, isn't it?
It's a tough question on the top of my head to answer.
Okay, what else do we got?
Flying with Kyle asks, do you think Doctor Strange could be introduced in Thor 3 because Thor is the main property that bridges the gap between the realism and the mystical?
It's a good observation, and it's a conversation I've had with a couple people, that a Thor movie seems to make sense. I thought Thor 2 would have been a really great introduction for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't go that route, per se. And so I'm going to stick with that and think that Thor 3 could be a nice gateway for a Doctor Strange, more than a Captain America would or an Iron Man would or a Hulk would. I think they could do it. Will they? It depends on what movie they're planning to go forward with, because right now it sounds like there's only one empty time slot left, so it's going to be either Black Panther or Doctor Strange, so we'll see. What do you guys think?
I'd like to see either of those characters introduced in an after-credits scene in one of those movies.
Aaron?
Yeah, as mentioned before, when we were talking about Thor 3 in this episode, I feel like Thor is a great property for them to introduce other things because it is one of the few properties that does both for Marvel. So yeah, I think it'd be awesome to see more characters and have them introduce that movie.
All right, let's do 3 more quick.
Okay, Pokezel DeMario asks, with the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie coming out, I would like to know who is your favorite turtle character? I would like to know too.
You know, my favorite turtle character isn't even one of the turtles. It's probably Splinter. Splinter is probably my favorite character, and I really hope. I don't even know if they're having a Splinter character in this movie. I really hope they do. I got to double check that because maybe it's been cast already, and I'm just forgetting. But out of all the characters designs we saw, none of them were Splinter. So Master Splinter is probably my favorite character.
I'd have to say Leonardo, based on the comic book. I read the comic book when I was younger. Like, he was the guy, he was the real leader.
Yeah.
And he was the one that kept them all together. And he also took on Shredder by himself in the comic book.
Aaron?
Michelangelo. What can I say? Pizza, I love it.
All right, next.
Okay, Carlton Fisk, if you were the director...
Sorry, go ahead.
If you were the director of the Star Wars prequels, I assume that you would change almost everything. But if you had to keep one thing from the prequels, what would it be?
Darth Maul.
I mean, the actual story of the prequels is fine, so I would keep the general story.
Yeah, I've always said if you read a 2-page synopsis of the 3 prequels, they read like a really good story. It was all the execution.
Yes.
But for me, it's Darth Maul and the pod race. I love that.
The sound editor.
Oh,
Don't
the
fire
sound
that guy.
was good.
Don't fire that guy.
Ben Burt was the sound editor.
Yes.
Who I also believe was the sound editor on the original trilogy too. So yeah. All right. 2 more.
King Sports Scout asks, will Ben Foster ever get his own standalone film?
I hope so. This dude, I can't say Chiwetel Ejiofor anymore because now he's getting his due and getting his Oscar glory. I think Ben Foster now replaces Chiwetel Ejiofor as the most underappreciated actor in Hollywood. This dude is amazing. He was in a movie with Christian Bale and Russell Crowe, 2 of the top 10 best actors in the world, and he upstaged them both. In 310 to Yuma or 910 to Yuma. Or
310 to Yuma.
It is 310 to Yuma.
Remake.
57 to Yuma, number 5. He's great. I love him. And 30 Days a Night. It was a smaller role, so creepy. His performance in The Mechanic with Jason Statham was mind-blowingly good. I hope so. I hope somebody will give him his due. The problem he's going to face is, for a leading man, you don't see many leading men Tom Cruise's height or shorter. And I think that works against him a little bit because he's a small guy in stature, but man, he's a great performer. What do you guys think?
I think he's a fantastic actor too. Like, I think of him and like someone like a Dane DeHaan and Michael B. Jordan, like all these up and coming, possibly big stars in the future. And Ben Foster is one of them. I loved him in The Mechanic as well.
Yeah, he was really solid in that. All right, one more.
Okay, Varlorgorn, what do you think of a Harry Potter prequel? Like about his father, about the founders of Hogwarts?
I don't think they're going to make the same mistake that the Star Wars prequels made. I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, they already have a universe prequel of Harry Potter that they're making. Strange Creatures of Unbelievable Looks in My Books. I can't remember the name of it, but something like that. That takes place like 50 years before the events of Harry Potter. They're doing that, but no, I don't think even Harry Potter fans, in the most part, would be interested in an immediate prequel to it. If they're going to see any more Harry Potter, they'd rather probably see something moving forward. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm done. No more Harry Potter.
Prequel, sequel, they'll make something. Because it brings in money. Eventually, 10 years down the line, they're going to make something.
Right, I agree.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.